So, welcome everybody to the disco. I am so excited today. I have been waiting for this for a week or something now, but we have the greatest trader of all time, Shibtoshi, who also has his own project called SquidGrow. Lots of people here excited to hear about SquidGrow and you and how you made that trade. So if you could just start by, everybody already knows you, but just introduce yourself and.
Sure thing. Hey, everybody. How's it going? Shibtoshi here. I'm the owner of SquidGrow. I got into crypto back in 2011 in Bitcoin. I'm sure probably most of you have heard me on AMAs, getting into that story, but those that have not, I first heard about Bitcoin in 2010, looked into it, wrote it off as some kind of scam. And about a year later, some of my poker buddies were talking about Bitcoin and how they use Bitcoin to get into these private poker rooms online, and that was the currency. So I started looking into it and inquiring, ended up pulling the trigger on that, and I've been in crypto ever since. I've been invested in everything from Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Zcoin, Litecoin. You name it, I've invested in it, and I probably still hold it today. My Shiba Inu story essentially went like this. I have a good buddy of mine that was all into stocks, and there was a particular day that he was talking about his gains that he had, which was 30% over the year, and he was pretty stoked on it. And he knows I'm in crypto, and I was just kind of telling him my views on that. 30% is I'm good, but I mean, you can make much bigger gains in crypto. So we got into the crypto talk with him, and sometime later, he kind of took it upon himself to start joining different communities, him and his friends. There were 6 other people, and they're actually the ones that found Shiba Inu. And the day that it launched, August 1st, he was hitting me up about it. And I actually just put out in my Telegram group one of the text messages from August 1st, right after I had bought SHIB, to one of my other buddies, trying to tell him to buy it and give me some chart support. But there was, as I said, 7 of my friends that got into it, and I just thought it'd be hilarious if I just kind of owned more than them. And so I started my buying. I started my accumulation of SHIB, and obviously I was kind of getting rocked on it, as I was buying. But I had a dollar amount that I was trying to get into the chart, and my sole purpose was just to invest more than them and hold more than they had.
So it's a little competition with your buddies.
Yeah, I mean, me and the Huntsman, a good friend of mine, we have similar pissing matches.
Yeah, sounds like typical guy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's got its drawbacks, especially the first honey. Well, not honey. It wasn't a honey pot, but it was a rug pull. The first rug pull I ever experienced was a coin called Oxycoin, and I brought it to the Huntsman, and him and one of our other friends started buying into it, and we were battling for top wallet. And every time I'd wake up, I'd notice that the Huntsman had bought more overnight while I slept. So then I'd ate more than him. And so now I'm top holder. And when he noticed it, he'd buy more than me. And it just kind of went back and forth for a couple weeks until one morning I woke up to the Huntsman calling me, and he said, "Fuck, they rugged." So what the hell? And I looked at the chart, and it was straight down. So that was my first rug pull I was ever involved with. And I got to say, it's not an amazing feeling, especially when you are able to sell, because it was not a honey pot, but the devs just decided to be malicious and steal everybody's money. It's kind of one of the worst feelings in the space.
Oh, yeah. I remember my first rug pull. I put in $50, which was a lot of money to me. And it was my very first sort of degen one, and it rugged like 10 seconds after the launch. I was like, what? So I know that feeling.
Yeah, it's definitely kicking the stomach. And, I have been rugged a few times, mostly because I didn't do proper research. I just took the word of my friend that, did the research for me. and I was just kind of too busy to dig into it. And that's kind of how it happened for me. But a lot of my friends in my circle and my texting group, they jump into projects and they get rugged, and because of that, that's kind of why I started thinking about launching my own project, back in 21. And I finally decided I was going to pull the trigger on it. So I had some contracts created, never deployed them. But well, I take that back. I deployed one, never launched it, but I had such a struggle trying to figure out how to deploy it and how to publish it. Um, it was just a big pain in the ass. So it's actually something we walked away from. And then I decided, with the hype of Squid Games and then the hype of Evergrow, I'd come out with SquidGrow, and I had the contract coded in November of 21, and struggling again to try to get it deployed. There was another project that came out, as everybody I'm sure is aware, Squid Games the rug pull, and I was late to the party, and that ended up rugging, so we ended up shelving that. And I just kind of decided that maybe I don't have the knowledge to be a dev, and so we kind of shelved it. And then I started doing more research, taking more courses on Solidity, and started better understanding it. It's all about knowledge. It's all about understanding what you're doing. And in the early stages, I was obviously, doing my homework, but not as substantially as I should have been. So then, after one of my really good friends, invested 50 grand for his first crypto investment and got rugged, and he kind of swore cryptocurrency for the rest of his life, I decided, what, like, this is becoming a problem, with all these rugs and these devs that are just stealing people's money. The least I could do is launch my own project and give my family and friends a safe place to invest their money. So that's when we decided that we were going to put out one of the contracts that I had coded. And it was around this time that I met RW, my CFO, in a private whale group, and started talking to him about doing a project. And there was a group of people that we were going to involve into it, other whales, but ultimately we decided not to involve them. Their views weren't exactly the same as ours. So the original founders of SquidGrow was Noah, which is no longer on the team, RW, and myself. And so we decided to roll with SquidGrow. We launched it June 17th. And we had immediate issues with the contract, as I didn't read the fine details from the developer. I was supposed to remove the router information of the Uniswap. The Uniswap and Pancake router were coded into the contract, and I was supposed to remove whatever router I wasn't going to launch on. I missed that, so I launched the contract with both routers, and you could immediately buy on Pancake, but you were having issues selling, so we had to announce to the community. At that time, it was something like, I don't know, maybe 60 community members, that we had trouble. We were having issues with the contract, so we had to stop trading, and we were going to relaunch. So got a new contract out and relaunched the next day, transferred liquidity, did all the airdrops, and been rocking and rolling ever since.
That's cool. It's doing really well too. I saw it go up to 50 million.
Yeah, we're a bit down right now, but I'm not deterred by it. I mean, people take profits. That's how it goes. This is a long-term play for me. So those, trying to make fast X's, I think they're, exiting currently, with profits, and they'll regret it later. As I said, it doesn't change anything that we're working on in the background. So I'm definitely excited for the future.
Exactly. Well, you must have had, sorry to say it this way, balls of steel to hold Shiba as long as you did. Like, what were you thinking when you were holding it and watching it go up and down? Were you nervous or?
Well, I'll be honest with you. There was a time that one of the original investors, one of my friends, started talking about pulling profit, and the amount of money he was trying to get out really made me nervous, because it was a substantial amount. But aside from that, I've never really been worried about SHIB. I make money on a lot of other projects. SHIB was just an investment that I did with an amount of money that I could lose, and was immediately down. And obviously, over some months, it started growing substantially. And then they did their 40% burn. Well, they airdropped 50% of supply to the Ethereum founder, and he burned 40%. And because he interacted with the tokens, it obviously went viral after that, and it started blowing up. It was how I refer to my crypto investments is as monopoly money. It's not real.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion, crypto's valuable, obviously, but it's not money in the bank. So I refer to it as monopoly money. And watching, obviously, at that time when SHIB was blowing up, I had substantial crypto investments, but I mean, I've never seen something blow up, so fast with such a little amount of money. So it did kind of take me back, but weighing the pros and cons, if I had been greedy and wanted to dump, I would have single-handedly killed the project. Aside from that, if I wanted to dump on Uniswap, I would have drained a lot of their liquidity. Actually, Uniswap put out a statement stating that if I had dumped, it would leave them with 5 million in liquidity on Uniswap. So think about
Wow.
the implications that would have to not only SHIB but all the other projects that are on Uniswap. It would have taken substantial liquidity. And I love SHIB. I love everything they're about. I love everything they stand for. I love the community. I didn't want to do that to them, and I don't need the money from SHIB. So it's just, and to be honest with you, I like to be able to boast to my friends, saying that I've made that amount of money on SHIB, and I never pulled a penny from it.
Wow. I think when people saw that trade where it says 8K to 5.7 billion, I think that broke the internet more than when Kim Kardashian tried to post her ass. I think everybody went crazy over that trade.
Yeah, well, so just to clarify, so it was a dollar average. Say that again.
Sheep Toshi's hotter than Kim Kardashian. Let's go.
Of course.
Yeah, so it wasn't, I mean, and you can verify this on the blockchain or the Etherscan. It wasn't just a 1K buy. I dollar cost averaged into it. My first buy was a couple $100. But I think the misconception is that I invested 8K at one go. That's not how it went. I bought SHIB over a couple days, and I had my dollar amount that I was investing into it, and it totaled 8,000.
That's really cool. So what was your mindset like? Like, were you like, well, you said you already had money before, so it might not have been as big of a deal to you as somebody that was like me and it would be going up that high. I would be like, I don't know what my mind would be doing. So what was your mind doing? What were you thinking?
It was surreal, to be honest with you. Obviously I kept checking my wallet, and I was just astounded by it. And I was talking to my friends about it, and my other SHIB whales, and everybody was just kind of blown out. But we had decided that, we weren't going to do anything crazy, so as long as the whales, stick together, it's not going to hurt the project. Eventually I did have one of my whale friends pull profit. He still holds a big bag with SHIB, but he did pull out a substantial amount of money, which caused a substantial dip the very first go. And but aside from that, it was just really surreal. Yeah, I don't know if anybody knows the SHIB story, but SHIB always kind of had a liquidity issue, in the early days. So that's why my emphasis on SquidGrow is all about liquidity, because I want, obviously I don't encourage my whales to dump. There's nothing wrong with profit taking if you do it slowly, and think about the people underneath you and the new investors. But you definitely got to have strong liquidity, because look at the projects that have a 300 million market cap, but their liquidity ratio is the same as ours, or their liquidity is the same as ours. If the top wallets start to sell, they drop down from the 300 mil market cap, probably below the 100 million real quick. So my emphasis has always been on liquidity. That's why 100% of the buy and sell tax go to liquidity. But, to answer your question, back to the SHIB thing, watching my wallet blow up like that, it was really surreal. I definitely did quite a bit of bragging to my friends about it.
What did your family think when you were telling them? Were they like, oh, that's just money we'll never see, it's fake money? Or did they
So,
understand?
my family is familiar with crypto because I've been in crypto for so long. They thought it was something similar to Bitcoin because, as I said, I was really early into Bitcoin. My parents were just pretty blown out about it. My sister, is that money you can actually pull out? So I was trying to
Mhm.
explain to her, how price impact works and liquidity, and they all kind of got an understanding of it. But I'll never forget. My mom asked me like, why would you hold it for so long? What you invested, why hold it for so long? So I tried to explain to her my views on that, which, if I was to be selfish, the amount of people that would be impacted by that. And I'm not hurting for money. Um, so it's kind of one of those things. I believe in the project, and I don't think it's topped out. I don't think SHIB's ever topped out. I think there's still plenty of growth there. And I think after the bull run comes back around, that my total holdings are going to be more valuable than what they were back in October, is my personal opinion. And I still don't think I'm going to pull a substantial profit, if any, from SHIB even at that time. I'm in my accumulation stage right now. So what I am personally accumulating is Bitcoin and Ethereum. And now I'm conflicted because I'd love to see Bitcoin come down super low, but I know at the same time, if Bitcoin drops substantially, it's going to probably pull my project with it, along with everything else. So it's definitely a deep conflict that I have currently. But
Mhm. Did you get
yeah.
into mining Bitcoin at all?
No, I didn't. I had friends that got the software and they were doing it from their PCs in the early days, but I never got into mining Bitcoin. I looked into it, but it's something I never pulled the trigger on. I've got buddies currently that mine Ethereum and stuff, but I never did get into Bitcoin. I wish I had though.
Yeah, I know, me too. What did you like when Squid Games rugged? Were you like, oh no, my token is got a squid name in it? Were you worried about that at
So,
all, or you
so,
hadn't thought
so
about?
so SquidGrow was not live at the same time as Squid Games. So I was gonna deploy the contract right around
Mhm.
that same time. It was in November of 21. And I realized that Squid Games had already blown up. I mean, it was making waves throughout the whole crypto space. So it was something that I really didn't follow much. As I said, I shelved the idea of SquidGrow, and I kind of just went about my life. And then I obviously heard about the Squid Games rug. I saw the video of the live stream, and I was like, "Damn, that sucks." But the reason I didn't invest into Squid Games is because the contract was not published, and that's a big red flag for me. That's one of the very first things that I look at. Is the contract code published? Can I read the contract code? If it's not published, then in my personal opinion, the devs are hiding something. In this particular case, they were hiding that it was a honeypot. But
Okay, that was something I was going to ask you. So, for the new people that might be listening that are just getting into crypto, and we always hear do your own research, DYOR. What do you research? Like
well, the
you
first
just said, the contract.
Yeah, so the first thing I look at is, I go to either the Etherscan or the BSC or wherever the token is trading at, and I go to the contract and I go to the read function and I read the contract. If the contract is not published, that means that the dev did not take steps to publish the contract, which it only takes a couple minutes, and it can only be done from the deployer wallet. And obviously, if the contract is not published, then that's a big red flag. They're hiding something, in my personal opinion. But looking at the contract, once you see a published contract, you kind of read through it. I personally look for the marketing wallet, the taxes, how much of the tax is going to the team. Is there a are you able to sell? So that string of code that you actually look for would be kind of hard to explain. It'd be a lot easier to show, if I had an example in front of me. But there's just a couple small things. You start with the contract, then you go to the community, and is the dev active? Is he available? Is he taking questions? Is he doing VCs? Can you speak to him, ask about, his goals and ambitions for the project, and long-term, short-term goals? And, that's that statement's kind of conflictive, because at SquidGrow, we really don't disclose what we're working on in the background. But I mean, so that's kind of a conflictive statement coming from me, of all people. But I mean, that's initially, what I'm looking for when I'm vetting a project. And I always do a test buy and a test sell, because there are ways to hide honeypots that you can't always view in the contract, because sometimes it's set up that you can only, it's very limited to what you can view. But I always do a test buy and I always do a test sell, and I always sit there and I watch the chart, and I watch buys come in and I watch sells go out, and then it goes back to the community. I check the white paper, the website. Does the project have an email address? Is it is it a domain email address, or is it like a Gmail email address? I mean, that's a big difference,
Oh, yeah. I never thought of that before, actually. That's a really good tip.
But the main thing for me when I invest into projects, at least into like blue chips, and even meme tokens, I check the white paper, I check the plans. Are they audited? That's a big thing. The contract needs to be audited. Did it pass audit? Is liquidity locked? That's one of the major things I look for. And I don't fall for just a screenshot showing that liquidity has been locked. I want a direct link. I want to be able to view it myself, because many projects, they'll post like a screenshot, showing that liquidity is locked, and majority of the community falls for that. But that can be doctored, that can be photoshopped. I want a link. I want to look at it myself. And if liquidity is locked, how long is it locked for? Those are the things that I look for. And even with all that being said, the last thing I look for is what percentage of supply does the team hold? Because even if everything checks out and liquidity is locked, if a project's holding 60% of supply or more, they can still rug the project. And so those are kind of, it's kind of just different stages of checking, and if it doesn't meet the criteria, like if the contract's not published, I won't go any further than that. I just won't invest. But generally what I look for is the contract code, and then I check for liquidity. I check for holdings, and then after I do that, I go to the community and try to see if anybody from the core team is online. Are they answering questions? Are they just ignoring questions? And just kind of ignoring them and bouncing around. For sure.
Sometimes if I go into a TG and I ask a question, just a normal question, not a fitting question, and they get all upset and like, you're fudding, then I'm like, yeah, I'm out of here. That's a huge red flag for me.
There's definitely a difference between asking genuine questions and fudding, and and the community should be able to ask questions, but there is a line between fudding and asking a genuine question, and we deal with that in our community, from time to time as well, so if anybody in the community, and I've said it multiple times, if they're asking a question and the question's not getting answered, just tag me. And when I go through the Telegram, first thing I do is I check the tags, who's mentioning me, what are they talking about, and I go through and respond. And because some of the mods and maybe some of the team might have overlooked questions, it's real easy to do, especially, within a couple hours, you got, a few thousand messages in there. It's really hard to go through there and read every single post.
I was going to say that, because I keep popping back and forth between my lounge and your group today, and I would be gone for like half an hour and go back, and there's like 1,500 messages. So your community is super active, which I love.
and that's what it was about. So, aside from, giving everybody a safe place, obviously, majority of the community don't know me. There are people that know me personally, and I am known to many other projects on a personal level. But a dev coming out and saying, hey, I'm giving everybody a safe place, you can take that statement with a grain of salt. My actions will speak louder than any words that I can ever utter. But you know as long as you're like investing into a project, like I this is exactly what I told my friends in the beginning, when I told them I was launching a project. I told everybody, hey, you're investing into me, you're not investing into the project. When you invest into me, I mean, these are people that personally know me, so they know my drive, they know my ambitions, they know what type of person I am. So some of my friends, before they started aping in, one friend in particular, he's like, hey man, I'm going to drop this amount of money. Can you, give me any guarantees? And I said, man, this is crypto. I can't guarantee anything. What I can guarantee you that I will dedicate all the time that I have, and I will back it by my money to make sure that you make money on your investment, and that I will not be deterred by the chart action, and I will continue to develop and grow my project into where I plan on taking it. And I told him, you're investing in me, you're not investing into the token. And with that, he decided to invest, and he's super stoked on it. And many of the other investors, I do understand some people bought the top. Currently you're down right now, but that's only for now. This project's not over. We're not dying. I think a lot of the community got used to, things coming out every week, but you get to a certain level where there's the moves that you're trying to make actually take time. Gate.io, for example, we were in talks with Gate for like 4.5 weeks before they even started tweeting about us. They contacted us. And when they first contacted us, I thought it was a scam. I was like, Gate don't contact, Gate don't send messages. They don't contact you. Why would they? But we were able to verify through our channels that it was an actual Gate. And then they proved it by doing a tweet to us, about the project. And we started talking. Obviously,
Good job, Daddy.
Yeah.
Oh, mute. Sorry.
no, you're fine. But obviously on some of the bigger moves and the bigger listings, it's not just a quick turnaround. You can't just list same day or the same week. They've got to do their assessment of the project, and then they take that assessment to the board, and the board does their assessment, and then they take it to the board of directors, and then they either give the red light or the green light. And if the green light's given, then a group is created, and then you can start, negotiating a listing. And and then after that, you got to provide, KYC information, legals, legal opinion, and that's got to be accepted. And majority of the time, they want more information than what you initially give. A lot of these exchanges want bank statements, which is something that I've done ever since Bitmart. So they want a very thorough KYC. Now that we have our business registration, our LLC, it definitely makes it a little easier to list. It streamlines the process a little faster, but it's still quite time consuming. So with saying all of that, I think, some of the community got used to, things coming out every week. And when you start making moves on a bigger scale, it takes a little more time. But rest assured, even though, the community doesn't hear, any news for a week or two, it doesn't mean that progress on the project has ceased. I still got my devs working on everything that they're working on in the background. That type of stuff's still being developed, on top of, any negotiations we might currently be in at the time. Sometimes, things fall into place relatively quick, like that week that, we listed 5 exchanges. It just kind of happened like that. Everything got approved at the same time, and we were able just to roll it out. But these are things that you can't put a date on because they're outside of our control. Like with Gate, for example, Gate had already been paid, contract already been signed, and we were planning on them announcing us the following week. And then I get a message from the listing agent saying, hey, we're announcing you in an hour. And everybody's like, oh shit, this what? Like we we haven't done any teasers yet. Like, we've not done anything, and now you're going to announce us. And the way it actually worked out is we weren't able to announce it first. Somebody in the community noticed the gate wallet on our holders list and actually, put that in the community before we could actually announce it. So
it's always one of the people that are checking everything really closely that always spill the secrets. But I don't think you have anything to worry about, because today in my lounge, everybody was so supportive of you and SquidGrow.
yeah, I mean, thank you. I mean, it's all about the community, building a project. Yeah, you can have connections and you can have money. If you don't have both of those, you can't really achieve much with your project. You can have all the marketing connections, but if you don't have money to fund it, what can you do? And if you have all the money in the world but you have no connections, you can't do anything with it. But on top of that, the community is a driving force. I mean, the community, they go out and they shill and they spread awareness. I mean, they are really the true market experts, in my opinion. They are the ones that are going around and spreading the message more so than any billboard that we could put out, or more any magazine we can come out in, or any article that we can do. It's the community that's spreading the word. So, obviously when I launched this project, I wanted to kind of model it off of Shiba Inu. I mean, look at the Sheb army. I mean, look at how crazy they have. They put petitions out to get listed on Robinhood. I mean, holy cow, and without the support and the backing of the community, you could be throwing all kinds of money into a project and it still go nowhere. So definitely the community is the core foundation of this project, more so than myself or the team. Without the support of the community, we'd be paddling in circles.
Yeah, I totally understand that. If I didn't have all of the people listening and supporting my little lounge, I wouldn't even have a lounge, no matter how hard I tried. So I do get that, but on a smaller scale. So how did your life change for the good or bad after the big trade, the 5.7? Was it 5.7 billion? Yeah.
5.7 billion. Yeah. Honestly, my life didn't really change much. I mean, at that time I already had money. I was already living my life and treating myself to, some of the nicer things. So it really didn't impact my life much, but I definitely saw an uptick on malicious activity on my wallet. People sending dust tokens that have an absurd amount of value, trying to get me to interact with it so they could steal my funds. I mean, definitely, became a bigger target, for malicious activity and hackers. Not that, anybody that I know of has tried to hack me, but, I've definitely been dusted quite a few times, and it's quite annoying if you're dusted with tokens that, have value to them, because it actually throws off your whole portfolio, and you can't really do anything about it. But my life really hasn't changed much. My circle remained the same. I'll be honest, I did boast to my friends, especially the naysayers, that I couldn't even talk into getting it. And the text messages that I put out a couple of days ago between me and my friend, I got him to ape into it to give me some chart support. He ended up selling. I actually tried to get him to speak up on a VC the other night. I think it was last week. I was on VC for like 3 hours with the community, and I actually saw him on there, and I was trying to get him to come up and tell his SHIB story. And then he texted me some nice, pleasant words, declined. So I told his story for him. And
That's funny.
he was a day one investor himself, and he sold for profit. There's nothing wrong with that, but he lost out on millions and millions of dollars in the process. But, it just kind of one of those things. Like, me personally, if I decide to, walk away from a project, I don't ever check the chart again. In his situation, he didn't have an option not to hear about how well SHIB was doing, because it was just all over the place. So it's definitely one of his biggest regrets of his life, is actually what he's told me. But, the investment itself really hasn't impacted my life. I've not benefited from that trade. I've not pulled down any profit from it. So it's really not changed my life much.
So you
You know,
didn't have like a big moment where you went out and bought like one awesome
oh, I
thing
mean,
that you always wanted?
I treated myself, yes, but it wasn't paid for by SHIB. You know, I definitely celebrated when I hit 1 billion. That's actually when I bought my 488 GTB Ferrari. You know, so I definitely treated myself. But you know, the profits, you know, and the funds from that didn't come from SHIB. So, you know, I hit different milestones and I treat myself to different things. Right now I'm on a watch kick, so I'm buying nice watches. And
Oh, what
recently,
kind? Tell me. I have a
well,
friend who's into those watches.
recently, recently I've been on a Richard Mille kick. So I've been buying a lot of Richard Mille watches. I really like them because they're discreet and they're super light, and just the craftsmanship in them are just impeccable. You know, so I've been buying a lot of Tourbillon watches, which take a total of 18 months to make. They're super
Wow.
intricate. And you know, so I'm definitely on the Richard Mille kick right now. But aside from that, you know, I've got a Patek and an Audemars Piguet and Rolexes, but I definitely don't really like the flashy watches. I kind of like the more discreet type of watches. And you know, Richard Mille is, you know, high end, but you know, most people don't know what it is when they see it on your
Yeah, I
wrist.
was gonna say, I wonder how many people are Googling that right now that are
Yeah,
listening.
yeah, they're
So
definitely a very nice Swiss made watch.
what do people buy you for your birthday?
I don't let people buy me anything. I
Because I
mean,
like, what
you
do
know,
you get a billionaire?
honestly, well, okay, let's touch on that. So, having billions in your crypto portfolio doesn't make you a billionaire. I'm a multi millionaire with fiat in my bank account, but I am not a paper billionaire. I am a crypto billionaire. So, you know, those of you that have the conception that I am a paper billionaire, I'm sorry to, you know, burst your bubble on that. I am a multi millionaire, but I am not a paper billionaire. I have a very large crypto portfolio, and I'm my the cherry on the top on my crypto portfolio is probably my Bitcoin holding, because it's taken me 3 bear markets to accumulate the amount of tokens that I have, and I won't disclose that amount. Some people might have caught it, you know, in one of the pictures I put out, but I definitely have been buying Bitcoin for a long time. And then I set my sights on a particular number of Bitcoin that I wanted to achieve. So I started buying from multiple wallets and different platforms, but majority of those obviously are stored in my ledger. You know, it's the safest thing that I could do. But you know, back to the gifts, what I tell my family and my friends and my girlfriend is, you know, make me something. Making me
Mhm.
something is, you know, it means more than just going out and spending money. Now I'm the opposite. I'm very quick to give money for birthday, Christmas, you know. I'll buy gifts, you know, but money's kind of my go-to for gifts. But when it comes to me, you know, I like handmade stuff. You know, I like stuff that I can cherish, and you know, somebody puts time and thought and effort into creating that is what I tell, you know, my family and my friends to do for me, or even a nice card with some nice words in it, you know.
Mhm. I actually have a really, really wealthy friend on here, and it's funny because I asked him the same question, "What do people get you for Christmas or your birthday?" And he had the same answer, that he loves things that people make him now because he can buy anything that he wants. So it's not the same as the thought that goes into somebody making him something, and he really appreciates it. And I really like that you have the same answer, because that's, you know, a nice, humble, down to earth answer. So shows what
Yeah,
a decent guy you are.
no, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, that's just I mean, but I've always been like that though. Even before, you know, I was in the financial situation I was, you know, I've always preferred, you know, a handmade gift or a handmade card over something being bought. You know, it always just kind of had more meaning to me. I mean, not to take away from somebody buying a gift for me, you know, I mean, it has a, you know, just the thoughtfulness is what counts. But you know, I definitely like to see creativity, you know, the creativity somebody puts to it and the effort, you know, it's definitely means a lot to me,
Hmm.
you
Well,
know.
so I saw that ring in your video. Tell me about the ring. How did you get that made?
Okay, so I can't get into too much detail on that, but so I'm in the Bitcoin Millionaire Club. We're a club of 106, and I'm the last member that has joined so far. There's only ever gonna be 106 members. So once somebody moves up a level, which is to the billionaire club for Bitcoin, which is I'm in the process of trying to achieve, the club gifts you with a ring. And
Wow.
it took me about 2 years to get into that club. Finally, I was accepted. So we're a very small group. Some of us, the early members of it, they've got yellow gold rings. The later members have white gold rings, which is mine. Personally, I would have rather had the yellow gold ring, but I didn't have a say in the matter. All they ask you for is your finger size.
Well,
But
that is cool. I'm so glad I asked because I must be so low down on the totem pole. I didn't even know that existed.
we're
But that's
definitely
pretty
around,
cool.
but primarily in the European countries. There's a couple of us here in the States. We do meet up, yearly, which is nice, but definitely a very small group of people, and I'm definitely happy to be a part of it.
That's cool. That's like the Super Bowl ring of crypto.
Oh my God, that thing is so massive.
I know. Do you actually wear it in public or?
No, no. I mean, when I first got it, I wore it around for a while, but I mean, it's an annoyance more so than anything. I'm surprised I didn't get more blowback from my club sporting it and putting it out there on the internet.
Well,
Yeah,
it looks like it weighs a couple pounds. How heavy is it?
it's quite a few ounces.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I mean, it's definitely very uncomfortable to wear. I'll be quite honest with you.
that is cool. So what kind of style do you have? Like, what does Shibtoshi wear? Do you wear like just jeans and t-shirts from Target, or do you go all fancy now?
No. My style's not changed. So I'm from Texas, so I wear Levi 501s is what I wear currently. I wear boots, and I wear Under Armour shirts and a ball cap. I'm nothing over the top. I have some nice things for nice occasions, but people always laugh. I climb out of one of my cars and I'm just like wearing cowboy boots and jeans and a ball cap, and it's something that, and I got a big old dip of tobacco in my mouth. It's something that people don't expect, but I wear what's comfortable to me, and that's my style. I don't wear like $1,000 shirts or anything crazy like that. I just wear blue jeans and a comfortable shirt and a pair of boots. I mean, that's my style.
Nice. What about steak? I love steak. Do you
Flame
like steak? Yes.
flame on, and medium.
Good job. If I ever make it big in crypto, the first thing I'm getting myself is a tomahawk steak. I think it's called, one of those big giant steaks that take up like the whole plate. That's going to be my splurge.
I think I've heard of that. Don't they sell those in like Vegas or something?
Yeah, they're like, it almost
Yeah.
looks like the Flintstones, the big giant.
Yeah, they're not cheap, if I remember correctly. I don't know the prices off the top of my head, but I've definitely heard about them.
I've got a supplier. I do have a supplier for
do
those,
you?
so I can hook you up.
Oh, nice. Well, when I hit it big, I will contact you for a tomahawk steak.
What's your definition of hitting it big? What would you consider, making it big in the?
Well, for me, like $5,000. I'm just, single mom trying to make it work here in crypto. So yeah, 5,000 for me is would be life changing, and I would be buying myself a steak. Other people might have a bigger number in their mind, but yeah, I would be happy with that. I'm not,
Hey guys, I'm sorry. Can we keep it relevant to crypto? I mean, I know this is like life story, but I really want to hear more about you, Shibtoshi, and what you got planned for your crypto project, man. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm here for an AMA, bro.
Well, it isn't actually an AMA.
An interview.
Wow, sir. Listen, Shibtoshi and Roller Girl are going to talk about whatever they want. You can leave if you like.
Yep.
I'm more interested in Shibtoshi because people can go to your SquidGrow and find out all about SquidGrow, which people do. But I want to know what it's like to be you. That's what I like. I like to find out about people.
You know what? Screw that guy. I was enjoying the conversation. Keep going, guys. Dr. Crypto talking. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because how often do you get to actually like learn about somebody
We're just
that's
waiting
had
for the
this
pineapple
fabulous?
and pizza question.
Oh, that's coming, Papa. You know that's coming.
Hey, Roller Girl, I sent you a DM real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of DMAs with Shibtoshi, and this one's different. So a lot of AMA. So this one's different. I'm really enjoying it. Please continue.
Yeah, like,
thank you.
I really, I'm sorry he didn't like it, but this is my style in my lounge. I like it nice and chill. So
Yeah, you're doing great, Roller Girl. Keep going, girl.
Hey, for those of you that have questions about the project, my DMs are always open. I do go through my DMs and answer questions. So DMs are always open. If you have more in-depth questions that you want to ask, obviously, at SquidGrow, we don't really give inside details of what we're working on in the background. We have the motto of, under promise, over deliver, because there are always unforeseen things that might come up, with development and things. And, I would hate to, tell my community we're going to be delivering on something and not able to do so. I've been in many projects where the dev team promises X, Y, and Z and it never comes about, or the deadlines not met. So that's one of the reasons why we have the philosophy that we have. Hang on.
Yeah, well, I love hearing about you. I love hearing your story. I love hearing the guy behind the big trade. You don't just want to be known as the guy behind the big trade. You want to still be a person.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I didn't have the intentions of coming out as the Shib Whale, or even coming out, with my crypto holdings. And we were in the process of redoing the website, and I was actually going to dox on the website. And for the longest time, I thought it was actually Papa Stonks that discovered some of the wallets. But as it turns out, it wasn't, because I asked him about it. But somebody in the community put it out there in the group, and a former team member actually verified it. And I'm just glad it worked out the way it did, instead of, being fully doxxed with my picture on the website and then this coming out. But I never had the intentions of coming out and,
Do you know what? I would say don't reveal yourself.
No. I mean, now I absolutely cannot, because now it's a safety issue.
Exactly.
I've got family that I've got to protect, and it's not a secret. People with crypto, large amounts of crypto, are definitely a target. If they track you down, they have the boneheaded ideas that they think they can just, pull a gun on you and make you transfer assets. Without 3 of my devices, I couldn't transfer anything unless I, had all 3 of those devices in front of me. So, it's definitely a misconception. And although I didn't personally know this guy, one of my very good friends had a friend that was shot and killed over $50,000 in crypto. He was shot in the chest.
That is crazy.
He was tracked down on social media, Instagram, actually. So it's definitely a real threat. So, I've talked to the team about it, and, the team doesn't advise it. And I've talked to my personal attorney about it as well, that I have on retainer for myself and the project, and it's not advisable. So I'm just glad it kind of worked out the way that it did. I didn't put my face out there, and then this came out. I'd love to, put a face to the voice. I did somewhat dox. I mean, if I was trying to stay fully undoxed, I wouldn't be talking right now. I've got a very distinct, and I post pictures of my personal life, houses, my cars. I want to, being invested into a project, I want to know more about the dev. You know, I don't.
Exactly. Like what
I
he
don't.
wears.
Yeah, I don't personally, ask the devs to dox, because I mean, crypto was founded on the ideas of being anonymous. I mean, that's what Bitcoin was all about. And I do understand, sometimes it makes people more comfortable, but look at all the fully doxed devs that have rug projects. I mean, being doxed doesn't really mean anything. You can put your face out there. It really doesn't mean anything, in my personal
Yeah,
opinion.
I just, yeah, be careful, because I only have a little lounge and I've gotten death threats. I've had people video me talk, like them talking and sending them to me, and I'm like, what? But and also before this disco, I had another disco, and I called out some scammer and they reported my disco and got it shut down, so I had to start all over again and grow it all over again. So you are actually a huge help. So thank you so much, because I think my number went up by like 200 members since you came to talk with me. So I really appreciate that.
1 second. I'm sending you a message.
Just excuse me for interrupting. They're just two humble people having an awesome discussion. And don't let anybody tell you how to run your channel, by the way. This is your, you're welcome. This is your space. Don't anybody else tell you what to do. And Shib, don't dox, buddy. Whatever you do, I know you're not going to do it, but just, there's a
I'm gonna
lot
shut
of
all
crap
that
going
down.
on.
Well, you know
Shut
what?
this all down.
I
He's not allowed
do
to dox, and
normal.
nobody's allowed to be rude.
Yeah, I
Agreed.
do normal AMAs where I ask all the questions like what compiler version and this and that. But today I just wanted to do something different. That's why I was talking to Papa Stonks and now Shibtoshi. Just, I don't know, every lounge does an AMA. So I was trying to think outside the box.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
don't have to. Sorry, you don't have to explain yourself. Sorry, Shib, you don't have to explain yourself. This is your show, so rock on. Love your work.
Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, now I guess I don't want to keep you too long because I know you're really busy and it's almost been an hour. But so we have
I've got some time.
Oh, okay. Well, we will ask you, I will ask you, do you still play poker? I need to know.
I've actually not played a good game of poker probably in about 2 years. The last big game I had, met up with my buddies, and I lost a dumb amount of money, and I felt extremely stupid over it. And what was worse is my buddy wouldn't give me the opportunity to win my money back. And
man.
I realized I had just lost a house, and I was like, okay.
Sheesh. I was going to say, what's your poker face like?
I'll be honest with you. I'm a real shitty poker player.
I like the honesty.
But my technique is muscling, and I've got more money than you, so I'm gonna muscle you up. So that's my style. But I play with a bunch of guys with very similar styles, so we're just in there bluffing each other left and right. Obviously, there are times where I get a good hand, and there's been other times where I thought my buddy was completely bluffing me, and he had like a boat, and just wrecked me. But
that's funny. Sounds like a really good time, though.
Yeah, I mean,
hanging out with your buddies.
In my 20s, I did a lot of the poker thing. I won't come out and say how old I am, but I'm definitely not in my 20s anymore. But in my 20s, I did a lot of the poker thing, a lot of the Vegas thing, and it's fine. But you get to a point where you kind of outgrow it. You start settling down with the family, and you just don't really have time for that anymore.
Yeah, for sure. In the video, I saw something that I think is really important that I want you to mention about how you give back to the kids with cancer and let the parents or you take the kids out in a car and see their smiles and stuff. I really love that part of that video.
Yeah, so I've been involved in charity for a while, and after doing some research into some of the charities, it's actually quite a joke. They everything that you donate to, some of these charity organizations, a very small percentage of that actually goes to the cause. And it's quite disturbing because when you donate to a charity, you think the money, all of the money, if not most of it, is going towards the cause, but it's not the case. It's actually filling the pockets of the people that run it. So after I discovered that, me and my friends kind of started doing something different where, on a personal level, we will give money to a family that are unable to pay bills or insurance won't cover, a big enough percentage of the treatment. That means a lot more than, it's a more personal level. You actually get to go meet the person that you are helping out with, and interact with them and talk to them and talk to these little kids that have, their whole life in front of them. And unfortunately, some of the kids that we've interacted with did not make it, through their chemo, which is pretty, it's pretty sad. But during our interaction, we do everything we can to put smiles on their face. It's not just me, it's a group of my friends that we give our time and our money to these families. So those are my, those that have me on social media see my posts about it, and offering up our cars and our time to give rides to these kids that have always had, always admired, nicer cars. I know growing up as a kid, I always loved the Lamborghini Diablo, and that was one of my favorite cars growing up. So a lot of these kids, they have posters of these different cars, and they've never even seen one, yet alone ridden in one. So it's all about just, they're dealing with such negative things in their life, dealing with being sick and being scared and not knowing, what the future has to hold, but being able to put a smile on their face and just give them a little bit to look forward to. It means a lot. That's more than any amount of money, can do for anybody, because money comes and goes. Money doesn't buy you happiness. It buys you the ability to do different things. But I'll be honest with you. There's been times that I've been miserable, and I've got a stupid amount of money. So I mean, it's doesn't buy happiness. Paying it forward and giving to people is what helps me sleep at night.
I do know. I do know. So you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's so nice though, because I'm like that too. I can't really do things big like you, but if I'm in line at the grocery store and I have a lot and somebody else has a little behind me, I'm always like, go ahead. There's not enough nice people in the world. So it's really nice to see that you're still doing nice things and helping people.
Yeah, I mean, especially, I'm not going to say trading crypto is not stressful. There's many nights spent. I'm sure majority of us can relate, watching the charts all day, every day. It's stressful. You see the chart start to go down, you pulling your hair out over it, it's definitely stressful. But the difference between the money that I've made and, the money that somebody's worked all their life for is it was easy come for me. I mean, yeah, I've sacrificed, relationships and friendships and stress and lost sleep. It's still not even at the point where I am in life. It's not easy to see your portfolio swing, big amounts. It's still still kicks you in the stomach, but you focus on the long-term picture and you zoom out on the chart, and it's not that bad. And then you just understand the type of market that we're in, and it bounces back, so you look at the big picture of it, and it helps me. That's what helps me, and I refer to my crypto, as I said, as monopoly money. So, keeping in, if I was worried about losing money, then I wouldn't have it in crypto. I wouldn't have it invested at all. I'd have it in my bank account earning, 0.3% interest on the year, I mean,
I know what you mean. I have this like education fund for my daughter, and it's funny because it went up. I put in a little bit of money, but the interest for the whole year was 3 cents. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. By the time she's in college, she might be able to afford a notebook and a pen if she's lucky. So, yeah, crypto is way better for getting gains and stuff. But
I mean, it definitely has its risks, definitely does. But this is something that I've always told my friends just getting into crypto, especially my friends that, were really into partying at the time, but wanted to buy this particular project and we're worried about losing the money. And I'd say, look, man, you're about to go to Vegas, for the weekend. You're going to easily spend over $1,000. Why not just not go to Vegas and invest that $1,000? If you lose it, you were going to lose it anyway. If you make gains on it, then it's a win-win. I always preach to everybody, you don't invest money that you can't afford to lose. Don't invest your mortgage into crypto if you can't afford to lose it. I mean, yeah, there's a strong possibility you could make money, but at the same time, you could also lose it, and you don't want to put yourself in the situation. During my days of playing poker, I've seen too many people lose big amounts of money and stressing out about it. How am I going to pay my bills, or my wife is going to kill me? I just drained our savings. And that is you take a percentage of what you have and that's what you play with, whatever that is, but you never invest more than you can afford to lose. And that's what I tell all my friends. One of my buddies on here right now, I told him the same thing several months ago. And it's if you invest into something, you understand that you can't predict the market. Nobody can predict whether Bitcoin's going to go up to 25K, or if it's going to keep dropping down to 15 or lower. You can't predict that. What you can look at is the cycles that we've experienced in the past and the previous trajectory of the chart, and you can make an educated guess on that. But nobody has a crystal ball. I mean, you have some guys that are pretty good at predicting how the market's going to move, but even still, that's not in concrete. You could have like a spot on prediction, but then you have a Bitcoin whale or a whale in a project sitting somewhere just experiencing something in personal life and then deciding, hey, I'm going to pull right now, and it changes the whole trajectory of the chart. You can't predict those things. There's a lot of unknowns in the space. So
yeah, I agree. There is. And do you ever do any degen plays anymore, or like just crazy degen plays on a Friday night?
Right now, I'm not really investing much. Like I said, I'm just in my accumulation stage of like my blue chips. There was a time several months ago that I invested in a couple small plays. The biggest one went up to like a $50 million market cap in about 2 weeks.
Nice.
And I wrote it all the way down. One of my buddies listening to this was one of the whales I had in that project, and I was propping the price up all the way. And then when I decided to exit, I announced it to the dev team, let them know at this time I was going to exit, and also to my community. So I let everybody get out before me. So my $11,500 turned in at the top to $2,085,000 within 2 weeks. And through all the pumping I did into the chart, I had about 50K total into it. And by the time I exited, I walked away with just under 50K. So I about broke even, but I had made substantial money in other investments. So, I let my community, get out what they could in the downturn. It was one of those situations where the dev team just way overpromised and didn't deliver.
Oh, we got somebody. Oh, they turned their mic off. So yeah, that is okay. So now we are at the question that Papa Stonks got asked earlier, the most important question that we debate in crypto. Does pineapple belong on pizza or not?
I love Hawaiian pizza.
Oh man, I gotta put you with Papa Stonks.
Thank you, God. Oh my God, thank you.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm man.
I love Hawaiian pizza. I ain't lying.
Man, I was like, okay, Papa and Shibtoshi are almost perfect, and then you had to ruin it with that pineapple. But
what are you?
Maybe we are perfect and others are not.
Yes,
about that?
maybe. Maybe I'll
We're
have to
doing
try it.
something right.
Don't get me wrong. I like a good pepperoni pizza, but if I'm being honest, I am lactose, so I definitely eat pizza very selectively. But I love a good Hawaiian pizza.
Yes,
To be
sir.
honest, I've never actually tried it,
Oh,
but
so
it
you're
just
See,
seems
that's where
fun.
that's where you're going wrong. You have to try it first.
She's
Well,
just
There's
agreeing
no
with other people.
stop. Okay, I'm gonna mute myself now. My kid's talking.
oh, okay. Well, yeah, maybe I will have to try it and let you guys know. I'll come into SquidGrow and say, I love pineapple pizza. But yeah,
I'm
that's all my
screenshotting it when you
questions.
do. We're
Does,
pinning that when you do.
cool. Does anybody have any comments? What I want to say first before anybody else is thank you so much. This thing that you came to do for me, the interview or AMA or whatever anybody wants to call it, was my pleasure and definitely life-changing. I love meeting friendly, humble people in this space because there's so many mean people. So when you do come across somebody nice, it's really refreshing. So everybody go, if you don't have SquidGrow yet, go check out the SquidGrow TG and everything they have to offer over there. I think you heard Shibtoshi. You can tell he's an awesome human being. So yeah, does
Hawaiian.
anybody have any questions?
Hello, hello,
Hello.
hello, Shitoshi. I am
How's it going?
from Chile. From Chile, you know Chile?
Yeah, I've been there actually.
Ah, you've been in Chile, South America. It's near Argentine.
Yep. Yeah, I've been there.
Okay, okay. A friend of mine said me, you have to take in this coin, and okay, I will see it. And well, it's like Shiba. I invest in other coins that I don't want to tell, but I invest in this coin that you are developing. So I hope that we will be good in this year because all the market is down. But I think that we have a little. How can I explain? I don't have too much information about the project, but I think that you are a good developer or a good person for have this project, you know. And I want to excuse for my English. Yeah, my English is not very good, but I know that you are from Texas,
That is
so I congratulate you for because I will invest and I think that we can do a good project with some utilities because for me it's very important to have a project utility, okay, and and something that I want to ask, is possible in the future to have some birds because it's very difficult to grow with too much supply. But it's only question, only question. But I
uh,
involved in the project.
yeah, I'll be honest with you. We don't have plans to do
Thanks.
any we don't have plans to do any burns right now. Everybody thinks if you do a burn, it immediately pumps the price, and that's not the case. You know, the reserve that we have in our treasury wallet, you know, that's set aside for the staking pools for the community and also for exchange listings. If we start burning down our supply substantially, you know, it's going to greatly limit on what we can achieve because we don't have a mint function. So once the project's out of tokens, you know, we could turn around and buy pancake swap, right? But once we buy those and we turn around and burn those, you know, what's the community going to purchase? You know, so we have our goals with this project, and burning is not part of that. You know, it would have been really easy to add a burn function into the contract, but it's not something that that I saw greatly beneficial. It's not a short-term fix to the price action on the chart. If we were to do a burn, and we ran numbers on doing burns, and it doesn't really, it's not going to help the chart, in a substantial way. I think it's more beneficial to the community to take the tokens and give those tokens out in our staking pools, and also use those tokens for different exchanges. I think that's going to help the community overall long term better than any kind of burn would do.
That's an awesome answer. I agree.
Hi, I have a question. I was just curious what if you have any surprises for us before Ethereum launches, and just what you think might be happening with the crypto market. Like, you think it's going to go up? You think it's going to crash soon? And great job on the AMA. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I try not to give public predictions on what I think the market's going to do, but I will say that obviously we're in a bear market, and I don't think we've seen the bottom yet. Obviously we have news to announce to the community here at some point of different things we're working on. When it comes to the bridge to Ethereum, my true belief on that is there's probably going to be some slight pumping in price, and probably followed by a sell-off. And I don't want my project attached to something that could hurt it. So my view on it is kind of let it launch, do its thing, and let the dust settle. I think is probably the safest way, because coming out with a bridge and then attaching yourself to a token that's doing Ethereum 2, a proof of stake, you never know how the investors are going to respond to that. Not my investors, but the Ethereum investors. There could be some whales that decide at that point with some slight pumping that they're going to start pulling huge profits, and that could tank the price. And if I'm attached to Ethereum and the price tanks, it's going to hurt my project on the Ethereum side. And with that being said, it's probably would hurt the BSC side as well, because if we're attached to Ethereum and the price dips, there's a very large arbitrage opportunity for people to turn around and buy the Ethereum dip, buy my Squid token at a very strong discount, bridge over to BSC and dump it. Obviously that would level out the prices, but it hurts the chart in the process. So that's something that I want to make sure that the dust has settled, and make sure that there's just no issues with what they're coming out with, as far as the proof of staking on the Ethereum network, if that answers your question.
It does. That does answer my question. Thank you. That was very informative. Thanks.
Hey, Roller Girl.
1 minute.
So earlier you said you were going to sweet talk Shib and for some information. We're still waiting for that.
Oh yeah. I was joking earlier that I was going to try to sweet talk you into some information that you haven't given out yet.
Ooh, okay, all right. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to overpromise anything. Definitely, we're working on things. I will tell you, I won't tell you utilities that we're coming out with. Obviously, we're working on utilities, and we have been for some time. But y'all can expect more exchanges coming out. I will tell you that. Some contracts have already been signed. There has been some teasers put out there, but there's definitely more to be had. I was not kidding when I said I hired CLS, which supports the top 50 exchanges in the world. Everything put in place is to help me achieve my goal with the project. So obviously it's not an overnight thing. Even if I was willing to throw down all the money to list on every single top 50 exchange, although some of them I couldn't list on right now, even if I wanted to, because I don't quite meet the requirements, or I'm not on the Ethereum chain yet. It's still quite a long process, to list on these bigger exchanges. So it's definitely not an overnight thing, but you can expect more exchanges and more marketing moves coming out. As I've teased in the group, we are on the cover of Crypto Weekly magazine, and we got a several page spread in that magazine. We're also doing a $5,000 giveaway in that magazine as well. You have to read the magazine though to find out how to to get involved in that giveaway. But waiting on that magazine to hit the shelves. It's rolling out now. It is in Europe. We put out a list of locations of where that magazine can be purchased, and I also put out a link that you can order online in the UK and the USA and other surrounding countries. But just spreading awareness. I mean, fuck, we landed on the cover, although we don't have the whole cover of this magazine. We are on the cover, and that's pretty cool because Crypto Weekly magazine is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, you need to send me a signed copy of that.
Well,
it's available at Walgreens and will be available at Barnes and Nobles on front display as soon as it hits the shelves.
Walmart as well. Yeah.
Okay,
Walmart
we have Walmart, but I was like Walgreens and Barnes and Nobles. Damn it, we don't have that here.
There's a list of locations, and you can always purchase online. But we are ordering I'm ordering a large amount for marketing purposes, and
that's really cool.
I can't disclose what we plan on doing with the magazines for marketing purposes, but I'm being told the amount that I wanted to order, we can't order, so they're going around trying to see how many magazines they can actually pull together for us.
You were gonna buy like the whole supply.
Oh no, I wasn't gonna buy the whole supply, but definitely was gonna order
5%.
A decent amount.
I got a question for you, Satoshi, too, bro.
Sure. We'll do like one or two more questions because I don't want to keep these guys like forever here. I would love to keep them forever, but I'm sure they have busy things.
We don't
to
mind.
do.
I just have one. I'm
Yeah, and I got one right after him.
Okay.
For him. It doesn't matter.
calling from Washington D.C. area. Satoshi, I just want to say, man, like we appreciate you, man. We thank you for what you're doing for the space. You're very, very like humble. Roller Girl, you rock at what you're doing. Keep doing these AMAs. I will tune in at every last one of them. But Satoshi, do not give her any information until she tried the pineapple pizza. And one, are you coming out with any NFTs in the future?
Oh,
good question.
Oh, I'm gonna plead the fifth on this one, but I think some NFTs would be fire, to be honest with you.
Dude, I will
If you need any auto staking NFTs, I can hook you up.
You heard it. You heard the answer. Y'all just got to decipher.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for your question, man.
Yeah, hey, so Satoshi, I kind of missed a little bit in the chat earlier because I was busy, but the DAO that you put out, when we vote on that, is that like set in stone,
No.
what's going to be
No,
going on? Okay.
No, it's not. So naming it a DAO is actually probably very misleading. It was conceptualized to be more of like a suggestion box type of thing. The proposal that we put out, or that I put out, stems from an awful lot of messages that I have gotten in relation to the logo. So before we start moving forward further on what we're working on the back end, I felt it was important to involve the community on what they thought about the logo. Obviously, I love the name and I love the logo, but I wanted to ask the community their thoughts and opinions on that. But ultimately, the project obviously has the final say in it. But definitely everybody's voices matters. So I definitely wanted to see what everybody's opinion was. And about that, I touched on that in the very beginning. What we are talking and discussing is simply, a logo change and a website redesign. Obviously, we're not going to be doing V2. We're not going to be changing the name. None of that stuff. I'm totally against V2s. And obviously, there are some things in the contract that, I would have loved to perfect on. But with that being said, it is what it is, and we got to just rock with what we got. There won't be a V2, but what was up for vote was essentially a logo redesign and a website change. So I've received several hundred messages about the logos, suggesting changing it. I wanted to see what the overall community actually thought about that, and I wanted to, everybody to voice their opinions on that. So that was the idea behind that.
Okay. Well, hey, man, I appreciate your honest answer, bro, and I appreciate everything you're doing, man. To give back to the community and help everyday investors out here in this space, man. To not lose their money. We already know how this space is very crooked. But man, thank you, like I said, for everything you do, bro. I'm gonna keep telling you that you're a fucking legend every time I talk to you, bro. Because it's not often that you get to talk to a billionaire, a humble billionaire. I add at that. So, bro, man, I'm with you. You know what I'm saying, to the moon, bro. I was with you before I even found out, your status. But after finding out your status and your humbleness, man, it just really drove me, man, to tell other people about the project. But thank you, Disco Lady, Crypto Disco, for holding the AMA.
Disco Lady, I love that. I'll be
It's my
known as
first time
Disco
being
Lady.
in your chat. So
Well, I hope you
shout out to
liked
you.
it, and I hope you stay in
I
my
will.
lounge.
Most
Thank
definitely.
you.
Most definitely. I will stick around. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Congratulations, Satoshi, man. Keep doing what you're
Hey,
doing, bro.
thank you, man. I always appreciate the kind words and the support.
Anytime,
Yeah,
brother.
I was worried, like, okay, Shibtoshi will come, my members will go up by 200, and then when he leaves, my members will go down by 200. So I'm hoping that people enjoyed this and actually stick around in my lounge.
Hey, well, I'm going to be sticking around. I can tell you that. So.
Oh,
I love
really?
Disco, so I'll be sticking around.
Thank you. Oh, guys, I really appreciate that.
I brought a few people here.
You're gonna make me all teary-eyed because I don't know if people know, but like it's actually really hard to run a lounge, and I do it all by myself. So thank you. That means a lot to me.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I know my buddy MJ runs a lounge as well, and I've talked to him in detail about his lounge. So I know it's definitely time consuming and can be stressful at times. But you seem to be doing a very good thing here, and I really like what I've heard about you and your lounge and you personally. So that's one of the main reasons why I decided to come on here and join your group and talk Hawaiian pizza with you. It's definitely a
I
pleasure.
love it. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm going to let you go so that you can go enjoy the rest of your evening. And thank you so much. And please, everybody, go check out SquidGrow because I don't think you can find another dev that's going to be as humble and nice as this guy and to the rest of his team.
Roller Girl, Shibtoshi, can I ask a quick question? I know you're about to lock it up. Is it all right if I
Yeah.
sneak one in?
Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Okay,
I don't see anything, but yeah, go ahead.
Right on, man. So I kind of been inactive, I guess, for a couple of days. So how come the logo rebrand came up to begin with? Is it like, are we worried about like copyright stuff, or is it just they just wanted to rebrand like a new look?
No, I've had an intellectual attorney check out the logos and the website, so there's no infringements there. It's not anything about that. So where that comes from is, I've received probably a few hundred messages about the logo and, some concerns about, well, what's going to happen after the Squid Games hype is, Squid Games come out and, how are you going to achieve, sustain the hype? And, I received a lot of message kind of along those similar lines. So I was really wondering what the overall community thought about the logo. I love the logo. I mean, I had it made myself, but, I was generally interested in what the community thought about it. And we're at a place right now where, we're in the process of designing some things and, to save time, from having to, do a logo redesign later, if that's something the community wanted, we figured I'd put it out there and let everybody, vote on it. So that's what we did. I love the name, I love the logo, but and ultimately the team has the final say, but everybody's voice matters to me, and I definitely am very interested in what everybody has to think about that. So that's why we put that out.
Okay, that's cool. Thanks for answering me. Yeah, I mean, I love the logo too. And I guess if you were ever to change the logo, it's better to do it now before like real mass adoption starts. So That's cool, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for everything you do. We really appreciate you, man. This is an awesome project. And Roller Girl, keep up what you're doing. This is the 4th AMA. You haven't lost your voice yet, but you're doing great. Thank
I
you so much.
know earlier it was going and I was like, oh no, my luck will be when it'll completely go when Shibtoshi is here, but it lasted. So I am very happy about that. But before we go, I just wanted to give a shout out to my partner lounge. It's called Land of Crypto Calls. If anybody is interested in some AMAs over there, that's also a great lounge. And thank you guys for listening and spending time with me. Time is very valuable, so I really appreciate that. Thank you, Shibtoshi. Thank you, Papa Stonks, who I asked if I could call Daddy.
Oh my God.
I did not deny. I did not say she couldn't. I just said maybe not on recording. But here we are.
Oh my God. I get that all day, every day in the chat.
Do you?
Yes, he does. Yeah. Everybody is calling him daddy.
That's so funny.
They all want adopted.
I don't even
And hey, everybody that joined my lounge from here too, thank you. Glad to have you. I'll try and get some stuff out there. If Shibtoshi,
why am I just finding out you have a lounge? What the hell?
Bro, you should have known this forever now.
Whoa.
Huntsman is in there.
What the hell? Just drop me a link.
Yeah, Papa,
it's in my bio.
Your lounge.
Well, I mean, come on, man.
It is in my bio.
Okay. Well, I mean,
but yeah, Huntsman is in there. We got some people in there. I'm still I started it right around the time SquidGrow kind of happened, and I've been a little busy, so I haven't been able to make too many calls or anything. I've been
putting you to work.
Tied up. I've been tied up. You've had me very busy, sir. So other than SquidGrow, I'm just basically not calling anything. Just SquidGrow and Fireball are basically the only calls I've made.
Well, you know what? You need to come back because Fireball is having an AMA with me. Yeah.
Yes. And that's my boy Shreddy. You guys check him out. He is a very hardworking dev. He doesn't have the money that Shibtoshi does, but he still pushes, and he's working on a lot of things. So check him out.
Awesome. I will treat him very well. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I'm here. I've been listening.
Good. How did you like it? I hope everybody enjoyed themselves. And
it was a really good one.
Great.
Yeah,
I know people were waiting. Thank you.
Roller Girl, I'm very interested in what your thoughts are on Hawaiian pizza, so definitely keep me posted on that.
I will buy you one.
I definitely will. Oh, really? Wow.
I will buy you one.
I am going to be jumping back and forth between your group and my lounge, so we will. And if you guys stay in my lounge, we will
let me know when you want
talking.
to try that Hawaiian pizza, and I will order you one.
Sweet. Maybe tomorrow I'll do that for dinner.
Sounds good.
That is awesome. I've never gotten a pizza before from an AMA. So cool. Well, thank you guys.
Danny Gubbins loves pizza.
Yeah, Danny loves pizza.
This is my best crypto day. I love it's like I don't know, I need to write it in a diary or something because this is the best crypto day I've ever had since I started. So thank you guys.
Glad to be a part of it, girl. Thank you for having me. I appreciate that.
Great. And I will send this recording over. Yeah.
And like somebody said earlier in the SquidGrow chat, like, why are you having this AMA in a small lounge? And you know what? The small lounges, the small organic lounges like this are the best. Screw Travel Ads Lounge or Caesar's Lounge or Golem's Lounge. I don't care for any of them. I would much rather come to a small organic lounge and have real people listening and not just freaking moon boys looking for a little 2x.
Well, you know what's
That's
funny?
not. I want real investors.
People ask me why I don't do giveaways, and I don't do them because the people just chase the giveaways, and they don't want to listen. They just come at the last 10 minutes to try to win a prize. They're not interested in the project or investing. And I say knowledge is power, so that is your prize.
Just give away. That's it.
Giving away knowledge, free knowledge.
Exactly.
That's more beneficial than a little B&B prize ever.
Yeah, like $25. I'd rather have some good knowledge that you guys have been dropping today.
Well, if I have any, I try to share it. I don't have much.
You did. That's why I've been seeing you around this space for like the past year, and your name is like one of those names that stand out. So I was like, who's this Papa Stonks? And yeah, so I'm so glad I actually got to talk to you.
Well, it was great being here. And
thank you.
thank you for having SquidGrow here. Thank you for having Satoshi here.
My pleasure. Maybe I'll have to have you guys back when you do a bunch of updates and other things that you're releasing. We'll have part 2 and hang out and chill.
Definitely down for that. That would be fun.
For sure.
We can all eat pineapple pizza while we chill.
Let's do it.
Cool. Okay, well, thank you guys so much, everybody. Check out SquidGrow. And I am going to sign off because this was my 4th AMA today. So I am going to get some hot tea. And it was such a pleasure meeting you guys. Thank you, everybody. And have a great evening.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure speaking with you. Everybody take care. Thanks for joining us here. And hope to talk to everybody again.
Awesome. We will talk soon. Thanks. Bye, guys.
Bye.